Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Power BI Power Query tutorial. I am your host, and if you have questions or comments, please leave them in the chat window. Let me share my screen. So we're going to begin with looking at the raw data. So you can see we have a list of employees with the city that they work, their state, the position, the gender, if they're a supervisor or not, and their hire date. And what we want to do is import this information from this Excel spreadsheet into Power Query through Power BI. So let me go to so here I'm in Power BI, and I want to import that Excel spreadsheet into here. So I'm going to go to the Transform Data button. It takes us into the Power Query editor. I'm going to select New Source, Excel Workbook. Select the employee workbook. Check the box for sheet 1. You can see a preview of the data. I'm going to press OK. So we have our data imported into Power Query. So what I like to do when I first import some data into Power Query is to just scan the data to see what I'm looking at. See, I have some missing information in the state column. Looking at the data types at the top. Okay. So what I want to do here with this data is I want to remove the gender column and the supervisor column. So I'm going to use a feature in Power Query called Choose Columns, which is in the Home tab. Choose Columns, choose Columns. And I'm only going to select the columns that I want to keep. So I want to keep employee name, city, state, position, and hire date. And it's going to remove the gender and the supervisor column. Press OK. There it is. I'm going to rename this query and call it employee. Looking at the data types of these columns, they look good. So we have a date field for hire date, and these are all text. So we don't have to change the data types. What I want to do next is I want to split the employee name. So we have a column for first name and a column for last name. So to do that, I'm going to select the employee name. And go to split column, choose the first one. It says by delimiter. It says to select or enter the delimiter. We want to choose space because space is our delimiter. Let's hit OK. So we have the first name on the left, the last name on the right. We can rename these columns. I'm going to call this first name. Last name. The next thing I want to do is I want to fill in the gaps in the state column. So you can see here, the first row is a city in Georgia, Columbus, Georgia. And all the cities down here until you get to Rome, Georgia, all of these are in Georgia. So from Columbus to Rome are in Georgia. Philadelphia is in Pennsylvania. So you can see we need to fill this information. So we can go to the drop down in the state column, or right click at the state column, choose fill, fill down. And it fills in the blanks that we had. Next thing I want to do is I want to be able to calculate the number of years based on the hire date. So to do that, I'm going to first make a copy of this column. So right click, I'm going to hit duplicate column. Then I'm going to transform this column here. So I'm going to go to the transform tab. I'm going to go to the date drop down and choose age. And then go to duration and select total years. You can see we have, if I zoom in, we have a decimal for the years, and we want to round up. Actually, let's round down. So I'm going to choose rounding, round down. I'm going to rename the column and call it total years. The next thing I want to do is I want to combine the state and the city columns. So I want to have one column for state and city. and I want that column to be called location. So I'm going to select the city and the state column, and I'm going to go to add column, column from examples, from selection. I'm going to rename column 1 to location. So the way this works is all I have to do is type how I want the data to appear in the location column. I want the city, which is the first record, Columbus. Then I want a comma, and then I want GA for the state. So if I go to the next record, it should autofill the rest, and it does. And all I have to do is hit OK. And now I have my location column. The next thing I want to do is I want to be able to create a region column that's based on the state. So I want to have a region for West, South, Midwest, and North. So I'm going to come here to add column, the add column tab, and select conditional column. I'm going to call this region. Column name is going to be based on the state, comma. So where the state, if the state equals South Carolina, then I want the output to be South for that region. I'll keep adding more conditions. So Georgia, South. Florida, South. Utah, West. California is West. Pennsylvania is North. And Maryland is North. Hit OK. Oh, we forgot one, you see? Missouri. So all we need to do is go to the little gear icon here. Add another clause. Missouri. Midwest. So now we have a region column. The last thing I want to do is I want to create some lookup tables. So the region column is going to be a lookup table. The location column is going to be a lookup table. And that's it. So what I'm going to do is right click the employee query and choose reference. This is region. I'm going to come here to the home tab, select choose columns, just select the region column. You see I have all these duplicates. I'm going to right click, select remove duplicates. So now I have a region query with unique regions. So I'm going to do the same thing for location. Right click employee query, select reference, location, select choose columns, check location. You right click the column, make sure we don't have any duplicates, and we don't. So now we have our two lookup tables and we have our fact table. The last thing we need to do is press the close and apply button. And that's going to send our information to our data model. Well, that was our lesson for today. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you next time.